Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Throwback Thursday. How are y'all doing? Hard to believe we're already on Throwback Thursday. It seems like this week's been flying for me. I guess that's what I'm trying to say in short. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a happy Thursday. Our hired helper is completely broken. It absolutely does not want to lower the back decks. I don't know why. So we are going to alternatively set up, let me see here. You know what, actually? Let's turn off GPS and see if that makes a difference. I just thought about that. Let's just see. Just for funsies. What would it be like if I didn't start an episode off with a problem? Right? With something going terribly and awfully wrong. Yeah, it doesn't want to lower the back deck. I don't know why. Okay, well, what we're going to do then is hopefully get away with this. We are going to do a job. We'll create a job. We're just going to do a little cheat ski because this is a big contract. We've got a lot of work to do on this contract. I've got all kinds of things going on. I've got two big M450s. Actually, we should... You know what? I just thought of something. I've got contracts everywhere. I mean, and I'm not kidding. Well, not... I've got two contracts, two bailing contracts. This one's the big one. This is the one I really want to attack. But I'm looking at this going, you know what? We've got two 450s. Don't look. I'm going to save us all some driving time. So why not? Yeah, let's do this. Let's see if we can get this working. I don't think I've ever done two 450s on one field. Let's create a job. And we'll do field work, of course. We'll open up the HUD. We're going to do two tools. I don't think we need headlands on this, so we're not going to do it. Up and down sounds good to me. Blah, 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 up and down direction. What do I want to do? I want to generate this field. I need to save it. That's always the key, right? You got to save it. I think I need to create a folder first. And we'll just say, I don't know, what field is this? 3? I don't think it really matters. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Field 3, I think it is. And then we're going to save the course. That did not work well for me. We are going to save the course. There we go. And we're going to do Big M. The Big M 450. Course has been saved. Now what we can do is we've got that. Whoops, we've got that one. Let's run on over to this one. We need to put the kibosh on that. We need to load this course. Activate. This one's going to be a righty at the first waypoint. Yeah. Right first waypoint. This one's going to be left first waypoint. And they both can be swath. No, we don't want swath, actually, because we're going to be tedding. I guess it wouldn't really matter. Are you going to let me? Oh, I got to unfold. See? There you go. That only gets me every stinking time I use these things. Wide-spreading indeed. Wide-spreading indeed. First waypoint. Lefty, go. And you, our first waypoint righty, go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get a couple of big M's doing a double big M. I don't know. There's something about that yeah. So yeah, it's been a heck of a week. I hope your week has been good. You know, sometimes life is like a box of chocolates, you know? For whatever that means. I think it's supposed to mean, isn't that like supposed to mean, you know, you never know what you're going to get? But that's not really true, right? Because don't the good chocolates have that grid in the top of the box that tells you exactly which chocolate you're picking out? So if that's the case, I like this, by the way. I like the double big M. So if that's the case, then yeah, I'll have at it. I'll take a box of chocolates for life. I like the coconut ones. I love chocolate and coconut. Oh my goodness. Strawberry. Is it the strawberry ones too? Oh, so good. So stinking good. I didn't look to see who's driving. He's all right. I want to make sure we don't have Mr. Office Worker. They need to just get rid of that dude altogether from the game. Mr. Oxford button-up, Oxford shirt dude. As always, I have my adult water beverage handy. I am getting a late start on Hagenstedt. Oh, see, This is never good. First of all, that's not your lane, buddy. That's not your stinking lane. That's not your lane. Come on, let me in. That's not your lane. Why are you picking that lane? Your left. Did I do two lefties? I didn't do two lefties, did I? No, I did a righty and a lefty. No, what are you doing? Which one should I fire? I don't even know. Maybe this wasn't a great idea. I'm gonna fire you. Oh, maybe this just isn't meant to work for me. It should though. Let's show the lines here. Maybe I can let's see where this dude's going. You know, I'm wondering, I think I know what's going on maybe. I ran into this the last time. See, those arrows are going to the right? I think he was supposed to... Oh shoot, I'm just guessing. I don't know what that dude's doing. I don't know what either of them are doing. We're going to drive down here and see if we can't get... What are you? You're lefty? I don't even know what that dude's mowing. I guess he's re-mowing. Nothing like, you know, you want to make sure that grass is thoroughly cut, so you do the double mow. Always like the double mow. Alright, so let's pretend these two yahoos didn't screw it up. And they came down here and they're doing this. This guy's a lefty, so I'm thinking he needs to start in this neck of the woods over here. Right? I think? Is that accurate? If I do nearest, is this gonna work, or is he just gonna freak out on me? The width looks a little off. It looks like we're leaving that that fine strip, but you know what? I don't care. It's a contract. It'll be plenty. Is this dude gonna go righty for us? It looks like he is. Okay, cool. Well, let's let them do their thing. I think we got him on track. Is he gonna leave the strip? No, see, he's not leaving the strip. You, my friend, are my favorite. I don't know who this other... You know what? I bet it's Office Worker, dude. I gotta show you what else we have, though. We got a couple cool tractors. Actually, we got one cool tractor here that we're gonna be using for this. I'll show off the equipment here in a second, but I really gotta see if it's Office Worker, dude. No, it's not. Okay. Alright, fair play. So they gave us a merger. I wish we had our Oxbow, but we don't yet. But we've got a merger. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I really like this MB track. I used to love the MB tracks. I still really do like the MB tracks, but I haven't used one in a long time. I don't think I've used one since 17. And I purposely went looking for them when 22 came out, and there's a few of them out there. This is one of my favorites, though, because it's got a nice selection of colors. In fact, is this the medium? I think this is the medium. Where are you? Right here? I think so. Yeah, see, doesn't that look sharp? Very sharp. It's even got a Detroit Lions. A Detroit Lions color combination. I mean, seriously, that would be so Lions. But anyways. And we've got a bale collector. Oh, yes. We have the Guvile. I haven't used this Guvile yet, so I'm kind of looking forward to using that baler. We've got our own Case Puma. Ooh. And I brought over the Buer. I don't think we've used this actually yet. Maybe once we did early on with our Tedder. In fact, let's go ahead and just get this thing fired up, because we can start tedding action. We don't have to wait, do we? Because they're going to finish mowing this thing in no time flat. As long as they get along and don't collide. What are they doing? I think they're doing okay. Well, we'll let them worry about themselves. We're going to get tedding. I love tedding. Tedding is so much fun. We are going to, of course, turn on GPS. There's literally probably no Buer 6135 in existence that has GPS, I'm assuming. But ours does. We're special. Whoopsie. Yeah, okay. Thought so. There we go. Let's do that. Let's lock and load. Let's fire up, and let's get to tedding. Wonderful. I like these open cab tractors, especially the ones that I'm not actually using in the middle of August when it's 92 degrees out and 100% humidity. I would love these in the fall with a nice crisp, maybe 55, 58 degree day. In fact, even colder. I wouldn't mind using this bad boy even in the 40s and just having a nice Carhartt on, you know. Oh, it'd be amazing. Yeah, I like this. I liked it quite a bit. We can probably do without the runway lights. So let's get rid of those. Our big M's are doing their job. I'm liking that. I wonder why the hired helper is not so happy about lowering that back deck. Not quite sure I've seen that before. That big M's flying. Oh, no beacons. No beacons for safety. We can do that. So what else is going on in the world of Farming Simulator? You know, I see we got quite a few mods today. I'm recording this Wednesday night, and I took a look at the mods that we got in. It looks like we got quite a few. I'm trying to remember if there were any that kind of... Ooh. I think they've wrapped it up. I'm trying to remember if there were any that stood out or not. It seems like there was one that I thought might be kind of interesting. slips my mind. I like the mod that we got the other day that allows for the double stack of pallets outside of production facilities. I thought that was kind of a, you know, duh, kind of wish that was in the game, right? By default. In fact, I'm hoping Giants does that on the next release and gives us a little bit more pallet stacking room. I don't know, I guess I don't really care that much about it in general. For the most part, I'm either, well, that may not be true. I'm either usually distributing or selling, but with pallets. But in the case of like greenhouses and stuff like that, I guess it'd be pretty handy. Let's get ready to get out of here. This Buer's doing a nice job with this tedder. Seems like a pretty decent combination. Oh, come on. There you go. Yeah, I cannot for the life of me remember what other mod I saw that I thought was slick. There was a yeah, there was an update to Tranquil Waters to 1.0.0.4. I'll go over some of the changes Stevie made to the map tomorrow when we're back on Tranquil Waters. Nothing like huge, and fortunately did not require a new save game. I love that when that happens. I'm not quite certain I would have updated if it did. Well, actually, you know, I mean, I guess if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it early on before you have a ton of stuff that you have to carry over. I guess that's kind of one advantage to being a PC Mac player. You can go in and kind of finagle the XML files and stuff if you're into a map and you have to start a new save and you want to bring over a lot of your stuff. Makes it nice to be able to bring over, you know, if you've got stuff in your silos and all kinds of stuff, makes it a little bit easier. This Buer's actually got a pretty decent little turning radius to it. So, all right, we got a few minutes. Let's let me talk to you a little bit about, okay, as a preface to this, a little bit of a warning. If you're generally known as somebody who likes bad TV and and think that the ending to Lost was fantastic, this is probably going to be a trigger warning for you. And I can't even believe I'm saying that. And maybe very offensive as well. So a couple friends of mine, they're no longer friends, by the way, because of this exact situation. Just kidding, they still are, but anyways, they've been trying to get me to watch. They know that I'm a big TV buff, and trust me, I'm not a snob about it. I've had my share of liking shows that a lot of people think were garbage. I get it. Everybody has different tastes. But they've been trying to get me to watch this stinking Stranger Things on Netflix. You know, the show about this town where there's an upside down world. It's just ridiculous. The whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. And I thought, you know what? I looked at the reviews And for the most part, it's gotten pretty darn good reviews. A lot of views. A lot of people watch this show. And it seems actually relatively popular. It's one of Netflix's, probably one of their bigger shows. So I finally decided that I'm just going to bite the bullet and I'll start watching the thing because why not? It's been kind of slow. I'm waiting for the new American Horror Story to come out. I'm really got my fingers crossed that it's going to be a good season. I really did not like the last season. I think it was called New York or something like that. I thought it was stupid. And I don't think I even liked, I forget what the season before was. But it's been a while since I've really dug into American Horror Story. I mean, the early seasons were just amazing. And I'm rewatching, I just finished rewatching Coven. Love that season. I rewatched the Psych Ward one, the Briarfield one. Love that season. Of course, House, the first season was absolutely fantastic. Anyways, I'm waiting for that to come out. I heard Fargo's coming out with a new season, which I'm really looking forward to. For filler, I've been rewatching Justified, because there's a new Justified that I haven't really dug into yet, but I wanted to rewatch some of Justified. Great show. Timothy Oliphant is just an amazing actor, and if you've never seen him before, you got to check out Deadwood on HBO. It's 3 seasons. It was so sad that it got canceled. I digress. So I get into this thing, right, and I start watching Stranger Things. And I gotta tell you, a lot of times, there's been a lot of times when I have watched a first episode of a show and quit watching because I thought it was just horrible. And sometime later I've gone back and rewatched it and gotten past the first episode and really ended up loving the show or really liking the show. So sometimes the first episode is a real gripper, and sometimes it's just kind of but you got to keep going. So that's kind of how I felt. Initially, I'm watching this show and I'm like, okay, we got the kid actors. First of all, that's one huge thing for me. If you're gonna have kid actors, they've got to be good. They have to be. They have to be well written for, and they've got to be well acted. Otherwise, I really lose my interest in a big hurry. Needless to say, this was a struggle for me because I really did not like any of them. I didn't like any of them for one reason or another. And I didn't like, I don't know, just horrible. But I kept going. I like Winona Ryder. She's pretty cool. When I was growing up, we all were in love with Winona Ryder. She was pretty hot. And she still is great looking. Kind of, aged well kind of thing, right? And overall, I'm just like, okay, if I can just deal with the kids, but they're such a big part of the show, so I thought, man, this is not going to work for me at all. But I stuck with it and got to the second and the third episode, and it quickly became apparent that I was not going to like this show. I really thought it was stupid. One big thing, though, that got me, and I'm still confused, I'm still watching it, and I'm still trying to figure out what it is that people loved about it, because I get the nostalgia part. Like, I was looking on Reddit. I did a Google search on Stranger Things Sucks. And sure enough, there was a Reddit post with that exact title, I think. Stranger Things Sucks. And and I'm reading the person's reasons as to why they think Stranger Things sucks. And you know what we can do? Hold on one second. Uno momento, por favor. Let me back this puppy up here. Let me turn off GPS. Let's see if hired help will do some work for us so we can run over and maybe grab our merger. So, yeah. So I'm reading why this person thinks it sucks and rebuttals to it. There were a lot of totally agree kind of things, like I don't get the popularity, blah, blah, blah. But there were a few people defending the show. And one of the reasons this one person was defending the show was because of the nostalgic part of it. They're like, you know, I grew up in this time frame, and it's really cool to see all the stuff for, what is it, is it the late 70s, 80s kind of thing, right? Whoa, what was going on there? And I read that and I thought about it, and I gotta tell you, the one thing that came to mind was, if you want nostalgia from that time frame, let's see here, swath work mode left. What choices do we have? Left, right, and center? Middle? Oh, I like that. And middle. Is the idea to do a lefty swath, and then can we do so swath mode left, and then when we come down back this way, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But if you want nostalgia, watch something good for nostalgia. Actually go back and watch a movie from the 80s. That's, you know, then you'll get good nostalgia. Don't watch this show for that. At least in my opinion. And it really got to me, and I still don't quite understand if it's a kid's show or is it an adult show or what the heck, because it seems like sometimes it's a kid's show. Oh, I like that. That's kind of sweet, isn't it? Oh yeah, see, I like that. I was watching, I think I mentioned I was watching that Oxbow merger YouTube. Some farmer was using an Oxbow merger. And one of the things they said that was a huge benefit for these mergers, I guess, is it's a lot more gentler on the hay and the grass to merge instead of use a rake. I guess that's one of the big advantages to these, I guess. So I just don't understand who the target audience is for this show. Because if it's for adults, it sucks. And if it's for kids, then it's oftentimes not appropriate for kids. Language, violence, some pretty graphic violence. And it seems like it teeters back and forth from being this fun Saturday morning Disney show thing going on for kids, and then all of a sudden you got somebody dropping an F-bomb and cutting somebody's head off and disemboweling some monster. And then you turn around and then you got these kids. It's really confusing to me. Who? Brad, what happened to your? Did you turn off your GPS, Brad? Shame, shame. Everybody knows your name. The gods of Stranger Things are getting on me for talking smack about their show. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. I like that. That's a big windrow. Yeah, okay, I'll go with this. I like this, actually. So, I just don't get it. I guess I'm not alone. I think they recently wrapped up season 5 or something like that, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to make it that far. I don't think I am. I've heard from people who share similar thoughts about the show as I do, that the kid actors, that does get better in season 3. Like season 2, you're still dealing with these idiots, but in season 3 and 4 and 5, it does get better, which is good, which is always good. And sometimes I feel like you can't actually just blame the kids, the kid actors. I think a lot of times you really have to focus on the directing and the writing. And it's not always the actual actor's fault, I guess, you know. You got Millie Bobby Brown, you know, MBB, you know. Her career was pretty much useless until this came along. I find her to be actually okay in the show, but that's probably mostly because where I'm at right now, she really doesn't open her mouth. She just kind of stares into oblivion all the time, and yeah. Now, see, why are you missing? What's going on with you, buddy? Oh, well, we're not going to worry about it. So, yeah, you got Millie Bobby Brown and these other yahoos. I don't know. Sometimes I watch shows and I continue to watch shows for the cringe factor to a certain point, too. I really like this merger. And, yeah, I don't know what you all think. If you've had a chance to watch it or if you bothered watching it, it's a very confusing show to me. Not from the content standpoint. It's all right. I mean, I don't personally have problems with suspending belief. Like, to me, if you're watching a sci-fi show, let's check out the beacons. Yeah, if you're watching a sci-fi show, oh yeah, Daddy lights up pretty good. I'm okay with I don't get hung up on stuff like, oh man, that's totally stupid, you could never do that in real life. That I don't get hung up on that, generally speaking, because you wouldn't enjoy a lot of shows if you did, right? And even though there's things about this show that are really kind of next level stupidity, but that's what makes me think it's a kid's show, because of the way they treat some of these things, the way they treat some of these scenes and plots and stuff. It just stinks of children's programming. But like I said, in the middle of these things, you've got some seriously adult content. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I feel like the show is completely lost in itself. But yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm hoping something good comes on soon, so I no longer... What happened to our, our Tedder? Did our Tedder get... Did Mr. Tedder get the... Oh yeah, sorry about that, buddy. I've been yapping, and let me get you out of the way. We can put the kibosh on that, and we'll get you out of the way, way out of the way, and let's get you out of the way. We can put the kibosh on you. Trying, you know, I'm honestly, and I want to be positive about stuff, right? But it's really difficult to be positive about this show, in my opinion. In just my opinion, I don't get it. I don't understand the massive amount of excitement and hype. But to each their own. My friends seem to think it's... My buddies that like it, the ones that were trying to get me to watch it, I would say they're probably a little more into sci-fi than I am even. And I like a lot of science fiction stuff, but they're like next level. And I think one reason, too, is they actually played Dungeons & Dragons. they actually like legit were seriously into D&D, and I don't think I know I've never played the game. I've never played it. I've never sat down and watched it being played. I was in one of those households where it was definitely frowned upon. It was not perceived as being a good thing. Kind of, in fact, it kind of, I guess you would say it was kind of in that same thing as the Ouija board. The Ouija board, I think it kind of gave some people that I grew up with and my family that vibe, that kind of that evil kind of vibe thing. I don't know. My parents probably would have let me play the thing. To be honest with you, they would have never let me have a Ouija board in the house. I can guarantee that. I never had interest to have a Ouija board in the house. I don't really care about them, but I think they're just kind of stupid. But the D&D, I get it. You know, I get it. I certainly can't talk bad about people that like that game, played it a lot. I can totally understand that you get invested in a world like that, especially when computer games weren't that evolved yet. You know, you didn't have World of Warcraft and stuff to fall back on. So, hey, I get that. And maybe that's why my buddies like this show a little more than I do, because they're just more into that kind of thing, I guess. I think if somebody asked me to play, if there were, I think if we put together a group today for D&D, I think I probably would try it out more so today than I would have in the past. Because it actually sounds like it could get kind of entertaining. I would definitely need somebody guiding me, though. Because I used to sit and watch my buddy play World of Warcraft. And every once in a while, excuse me, so sorry. Every once in a while, yeah, let's get rid of those lights. I would show up at his house, kind of uninvited kind of thing, just, you know, checking out, see how he's doing. And he was so big into World of Warcraft that you just wouldn't see him for days, you know. And I worked with the guy, and he was just so into it. And I would show up on a Saturday, and he would just be, you could just tell the guy didn't sleep, was in his boxer shorts, and, you know, had that brick of cheese sitting there on the desk with a couple of Mountain Dews and some energy drinks, and was just going to town. And I would sit there and watch him play, and yeah, it just wasn't for me, you know. I mean, we're talking about, like, you'd have to get people together for some 2-hour raid thing or something crazy, and I just don't think my brain could handle something like that. I just don't think. I like relaxation games like Farming Simulator and American Truck and Euro Truck and stuff. But there were just things about this game that I knew that just looking at it, I probably wasn't going to be a huge fan of, but I could get why people were certainly into it. And I'll tell you, World of Warcraft, wow, man, they made a killing, right? I don't know what their highest subscription base count would have been eventually, but a juggernaut of money. Just, oh my goodness. Massive amounts of coin. Which reminds me too, I just finished watching Halt and Catch Fire. I got a AMC Plus free subscription so I could watch this show. I watched the first season of it when it first came out because I was really kind of geeked about it. It was really good, actually. And it was very techie, 1970s, you know, when PCs were, when IBM just owned the PC market and so on and so forth. and didn't realize there were 4 seasons. I was really surprised to see that. But I thought ultimately it was just a very, very good show. Very, very good. And I found myself so often, though, just wanting to, like, reach through the screen and grab these people and say, dudes, you don't realize this, but people are going to actually want to know what people had for breakfast, and when they're, you know, doing their morning dumps, and where they're at, you know, at 2:30 in the afternoon, and you know, basically Facebook, and it's like, because you hear them trying to figure out. That's a big part of what all of these characters are into, is trying to figure out the next best thing. And this is when PCs, if you weren't around during this time, it's just exploding. PCs, once they got to the cloning going and got to a price where it was very affordable to have them at home, just exploded. I don't even know, other than maybe the car. Maybe the car and the TV, maybe, was equal to this, but, and they're just constantly trying to figure out what the next big thing is, and what are people going to be into. And it's kind of cool because later on they finally got into this search engine. You know, the internet actually came about. You know, thank goodness Al Gore finally invented the internet for everybody. And the internet finally came about. If you're wondering, I said that facetiously, but and they're trying to figure out, you know, what are people going to use it for, and why would anybody want to be on the internet, and what could you possibly do on the internet? And it was just funny, just because you know that this happened in real life. You know that there were a ton of people in Silicon Valley and stuff just trying to figure out what to do with these things. And pretty fascinating show. It was kind of loosely based on some realism in it, because they reference some real products. But and that's what I appreciated about the show. They weren't trying to pretend like they were going to invent Google, or that they weren't going to invent Ethernet or something big. They were always on that edge kind of thing, and they would even reference some of the bigger companies like Cisco and things like that. And it was cool. It was really good, you know, obviously referencing IBM and stuff. But I highly recommend it if you A, enjoy kind of the more drama kind of shows, and B, character development shows, which I personally really like. If a show has good characters and good character development, I don't have to have a lot of action. I just like people that I can get vested in. And of course, if you're into the techie stuff, and if you can put up with AMC Plus's app, because it sucks, horribly sucks. AMC literally needs to completely trash bin their streaming app and start from scratch. And when I did the free trial, I looked at the reviews on the app, and it's 1 star. In fact, there were a lot of people that said, I wish I didn't have to give it a star at all, or half a star. Yeah, and I know why now. It's not a good app. I mean, it's utility driven to a certain point, so it gets the job done. But it's not good. It's not good at all. I don't know if it's because they just assume most people that are going to be watching their content are watching it through another service like Xfinity, or Fubo, or Google TV, or something like that, and they just don't give a fat farts about their app, because that's the impression I get. But if you can get past that, or have another way of watching it, it's not bad. I actually also did it because my son, believe it or not, is just now watching Walking Dead. I love that when I find out people are just getting into some of these huge shows, I got another friend that is not too long ago started watching Game of Thrones for the first time. But yeah, my son's just now getting into Walking Dead. Now, granted, Walking Dead had its ups and downs big time, right? I mean, let's all face it. It wasn't always brilliant programming. And all of these spin-offs are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But, uh-oh. Mr. Tedder, have you failed me? But needless to say, he's enjoying it because he's like on season 2 or 3 when it was still pretty good. Before it went off the rails and kind of, I don't know, in my opinion, got a little bit not so good. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Football season started. I'm excited about that. My team is absolutely horrific. If they don't improve, they might as well just get demoted down to, I would say, flag football at best. In fact, they're so bad that there's a lot of Canadian football teams that could beat them. Sorry, just kidding. Yeah. Arena football teams. I won't say CFL stuff because I know somebody that's probably watching this that won't be thrilled with me putting a smackdown on the old CFL. But, yeah, I mean, they're horrible. There was nothing in their... There was nothing that I saw that gave me any hope at all for the future. Yeah. And wasn't that... You know, I felt really bad for Aaron Rodgers. I'm not his biggest fan, but I respect his talent in a big way. And I really, just as a fan of football, I really, really wanted to see what he was going to do with the Jets this year. And I'm not a Jets fan in any way, shape, or form. I just wanted to see what happened. You know, if you're a fan of a sport, you can appreciate these things, right? Even if they're not your team. And it's just unbelievable to me. 4 snaps into the season, and he's done. It's a season ending, from what I understand. It's at the very least a season ending, if not potentially career ending. And it's just sad to see. Really sad to see. Very unfortunate. Yeah, it's a shame. I can't even imagine being a Jets fan and having that excitement of having a Super Bowl, potentially or most likely Hall of Fame quarterback. Whoopsie. Brought to your team for the specific purpose of winning a Super Bowl for you. And that's it. You didn't even see him in preseason. The guy didn't suit up in preseason at all. I mean, you get to watch him on Hard Knocks. If you have HBO, you can watch him on the show Hard Knocks, which is a pretty good show, right? If you like that kind of thing. But that's it, man. That's it. Yeah, I'm sorry if you're a Jets fan. That sucks. I'm with you on that. You know, that sucks. Well, we are going to have to wrap this up shortly. I think we are into the overtime period, but I kind of wanted to get a couple things done with this field. I really, this merger is getting me kind of excited about seeing the Oxbow in action. I don't know how the Oxbow compares to this one. If it's bigger, it seems like I think it might be. But I'm kind of excited to see how the Oxbow compares out. Can you move this? Wait a minute. Stay there for un momento, please. Let me first of all get into here and deactivate the mouse business. Can you move this merger around? Or is that... Oh, that's the little topper to our... That's our little sunroof there. Nice. I should have had that open. Let the fresh air in. That's pretty sweet. And what does the double banger do? Is that doing anything at all? Is that a door or a window or? I'm not really seeing what that does. All right, that's all I needed. Thanks for that momentary interruption in our programming. I'd say we are good with one more row, and we're going to call it, I guess. Let's lock and load on this one. Kind of handy, right? With the way this works, though, too, it cuts down. It seems like it, because of this being able to switch lefty-righty thing, it kind of cuts down on the number of win rows, too. It makes bailing, I think, going to make bailing a little quicker. I guess you could kind of do something similar, right, with a big enough rake or windrower, but kind of like this merger action. And I'm liking the Mercedes MB track. It needs a nice looking front weight on it. You know, it needs something pretty sharp right there. If I owned one, I would definitely be loading up on a nice front weight. In fact, I think there's some front weights. I think there's some Mercedes front weights that came with this pack, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, but that would look sharp with one of those safety weights we were using back on Hinterland. Get the matchy colors with some lights on the front. Oh yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Let's get rid of you. Let's turn off our GPS. Man, that's fast. That baby doesn't waste any time. And I think we're going to have to put a wrap on this episode for sure. I think we're going to leave it the way it is so we can test out this Gigabyte baler that I have yet to use. Kind of excited about that. Let's kill the beacons. I did finally figure out that in order to get a bale counter in the game, that you have to enable a DLC, and I think you can either enable the Gigabyte DLC. See how it's got a bale counter there? Or you can enable, what's that other brand? That yellow brand, I always forget what the name of it is. You all know probably. If you enable that one, you get a bale counter. But if you don't have any of the DLCs enabled, no bale counter. Which is kind of weird that the bale counter is not just a base game thing. I don't know why it's done that way. Anyways, anywho, as a friend of mine would always say. Thank you all so much for sticking with me. If you still are here, I certainly appreciate you watching, and would appreciate a like if you enjoyed this at all and put up with my Stranger Things commentary. We will revisit this field next time we're together, and we'll be back in tranquil waters tomorrow for a wrap to the week. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of each other. Don't suggest stranger things to your... Don't suggest stranger things to your friends. And have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.